Welcome to Vnews today and following are the headlines.
Former state leader Võ Trí Công passes away. Presidential welcome for biggest U.S. delegation. Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng pays official visit to Laos. Vietnamese Singaporean foreign ministers hold talks. Swan singing 6th UNESCO title.
Võ Trí Công, former president of the State Council, former chairman of the National Defense Council, and former deputy prime minister, passed away on September 8th at the age of 99.
The funeral organizing board will include 32 leading party, state, national assembly and government members led by Party General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng. Tributes to the late leader will take place on September the 10th and 11th in Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh City, and his homeland, Quảng Nam Province. A solemn commemoration ceremony will be held on the early morning of September the 12th in Ho Chi Minh City. He will be buried at the city's cemetery on the same day.
Moving to other news, State President Trương Tấn Sang has said Vietnam always welcomes U.S. enterprises who sought long-term cooperation and investment opportunities in Vietnam.
The state leader made a statement in Hanoi on September 8th while receiving the U.S. ASEAN Business Council delegation and its member companies led by its President Alexander Feldman. At a reception for the largest ever U.S. business delegation to Vietnam, including representatives from nearly 40 large groups and corporations, President Trương Tấn Sang said Vietnam is determined to stabilize the macroeconomy and maintain a rapid and sustainable economic development in an effort to becoming an industrialized country by 2020. He suggested U.S. companies assist Vietnam in socio-economic development, international integration, completing the market economic institution, surmounting war consequences and coping with global challenges such as climate change and environmental pollution, helping raise the bilateral ties to new heights. Alexander Feldman affirmed U.S. businesses wish to further strengthen cooperation with Vietnamese partners in all aspects. He said that U.S. businesses consider Vietnam a partner and a market with potential, and they want to invest in Vietnam priority areas, especially infrastructure building and human resource development.
Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng arrived in Vientiane on September the 9th, beginning his official visit to Laos, where he also co-chaired the Vietnam-Laos Cooperation and Investment Conference.
Lao Prime Minister Thông Thammaravong spoke highly of his counterpart's selection of Laos to make his first overseas visit after being re-elected as Prime Minister of Vietnam. He said the visit would contribute to tightening the comprehensive cooperation between the two countries. During the talks, the two prime ministers agreed to accelerate the implementation of the agreements on investment and trade cooperation between the two countries, with a view to achieving $2 billion in two-way trade by 2015. The two sides decided to enhance ties in security, national defense, culture, education, transport, energy, personnel training, labor, healthcare, agricultural and rural development. They shared a common view of settling disputes in the East Sea by peaceful measures in line with international laws. Vietnam affirmed to continue support Laos' effort to join the World Trade Organization and assist Laos to successfully host the 9th Asia-Europe Summit meeting in late 2012.
Vietnam and Singapore will continue to develop friendship and multifaceted cooperation in the spirit of the Declaration on the Comprehensive Cooperation Framework in the 21st Century, signed in 2004. Foreign Minister Phạm Bình Minh and his Singaporean counterpart Shanmugam reached the agreement at their talks in Hanoi on September the 8th.
The two foreign ministers expressed their joy at the effective cooperation in trade and investment between the two countries. They said they believed that the two sides should seek measures to allow more Vietnamese goods to enter the Singaporean market and enterprises of the two countries to boost linkages. They agreed to maintain close coordination and cooperation at regional and international forums like the UN East Asia Summit, Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Forum and Trans-Asia-Pacific Economic Partnership Agreement. The same day, the visiting Singaporean Foreign Minister Shanmugam was received by Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng, who expressed his wish that the two sides will continue to boost cooperation in every field with priority on the agreement to connect the two economies. Foreign Minister Shanmugam said Singaporean businesses consider Vietnam an attractive destination for investment with an effective and stable investment environment. He said he hoped that the Vietnamese government will continue to create favorable conditions to attract more Singaporean investors. He said he hoped Vietnam will become a stable supplier for food for Singapore in the future.
Also on September 8th, Vietnamese Minister of Public Security Trần Đại Quang held talks with Cambodian Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Interior Sa Khang during his 3-day visit to the neighboring country.
Minister Quang said Vietnam and Cambodia need to consolidate and expand their cooperation in national defense and security, especially the prevention of transnational crimes. The Vietnamese minister underlined the resolve of the two countries' leaders in building a peaceful and stable common borderline and cooperating for mutual development, as well as the commitment to the principle of not allowing hostile forces using one country's territory to launch activities harmful to other security. The two sides agreed to continue implementing agreements signed by two ministries, especially the cooperation plan in 2011 between two countries' public security agencies in crime prevention, social security and order, and personnel training.
The Foreign Ministry has said the operations of the Vietnamese embassy in Libya will resume when the African country's situation returns to normal.
Foreign Minister spokesperson Nguyễn Phương Nga made the statement while answering reporters' question on the current situation of the Vietnamese embassy in Libya at the ministry's regular press briefing in Hanoi on September the 8th. She said, with assistance from foreign countries, international organizations and Libyan friends, the Vietnamese ambassador and all the staff of the embassy in Tripoli have temporarily left the unrest-stricken country.
A Vietnam-Japan workshop on IT application in disaster mitigation and early warning took place in Hanoi on September the 8th.
The event is part of a cooperation plan on IT application and development between Vietnamese Ministry of Information and Communications and Japanese Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communications. Under the program, a group of researchers from Vietnam and Japan conducted a survey on the need of IT applications in environmental management and disaster early warning in the cities of Da Nang and Cần Thơ and the province of Thanh Hóa. They proposed a pilot implementation of some IT applications in environmental supervision and disaster early warning in Da Nang and Cần Thơ cities later this year. Over the last decade, Vietnam has suffered from 6 to 7 natural disasters a year, which have killed 466 people every year and caused a loss of 1.5% of GDP.
A swan singing performance took place in Việt Trì City, Phú Thọ Province on September the 8th as part of a process to seek UNESCO recognition of this art form as an intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent protection.
Swan singing, a vocal art of villages in the ancestral land of Phú Thọ, is usually performed in front of the communal house during the village festivals in the spring. Based on legends and historical, archaeological and social records, researchers say that swan singing first appeared a long time ago, from the time when the Hùng kings established the nation. It is now performed in 17 village festivals in the province. Swan singing artists are organized into troops called the Swan Troops. Each troop consists of 12 to 18 young artists aged from 18 to 20, led by a middle-aged man who understand the rules, songs, and ancient gnome scripts. Phú Thọ has applied for UNESCO recognition of the swan singing as an intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent protection. UNESCO is expected to consider the swan singing next month.
And that comes to the end of Vnews today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.